0. And also, if you want to, I don't think I have the example here, but basically, let's say if you want to select the first few columns or few rows, if you say 0 and comma 3, I think it includes the first. For example, if you put zeros, commas, not comma, column 6, then what you will get is actually from index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, hold on. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think the 6 is actually missing. It has to do with how the Python actually define how you actually can show the indexing by putting those numbers. But this part, I don't think I have handout for this part, but you can do the experiment. Yeah, this part I think.
Oh, Michael, I think I know what happened. Like column means like everything else. So if you put a column after the 6, that means everything after 6. But if you put a column before the 6, then it's before.
Yes.
Michael, but if, for example, we need to have a second column, do we also need to insert a comma after country or not? For example, I want to attain the year column after country.
I think you can put a. I think you put a comma and then you again do the quotation mark. I think it should work. But I can't quite remember. Sometimes people use the another column to basically say I want. Does it work or not? Yeah, for that I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
But this part in Python is actually pretty tricky in terms of how they actually do the index. So you have to do that multiple times to get familiar with the information. But let's move on first, and then if we have time, then we come back to that. So once you install the matplotlib, and then now you can import the matplotlib package into Python. But notice that as a convention, people, of course, you don't want to type the whole thing, right? And, oh, by the way, here you see matplotlib.pyplot. The pyplot, that's the sub package inside the matplotlib package. This time we are only using the pyplot package. Of course, here you won't really know how many packages inside here. But normally when people want to do those plots, they will use the pyplot package inside the matplotlib package. So in this case, we want to have the abbreviation. So we say, okay, import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. PLT is the abbreviation for the package. So if you execute that, then you basically have that package ready. And if you go to the next page, what you can do is here. You can copy and paste the code. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but I'll explain what's going on here. Here. That's PLT. Does your code work? Can you get this plot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we didn't import the. You missed an previous step, I think that's why we didn't install. Or you did.
I think I did. But But anyway, yeah, it's okay as long as yours is working. Okay, so what we are doing here, I'll explain one line, at a time. So basically, the PLT. What's PLT? In this case, yeah, the package you just install, right? Because we define that package as PLT, so that's why you don't need to type the whole thing. So that's the package, and inside the package there's a function called plot. Plot basically applies to all the plots. For example, if you want to do a histogram, you can also use plot function. If you want to do a scatter plot, you can also use plot function. And here is how you define what you want to plot. So in this case, again, we are using the get data set you just created. And then you want to tell Python what variable you are going to use. In this case, we are interested in the relationship between year and population. We want to see over time how population, growing in Afghanistan. So in this case, we say, okay, we want to use the get data set. The first x-axis. So you want to put the variable you want to plot on the x-axis first. So you say get.log, and then you say, okay, I don't care about rows, so that's why whatever before the column is empty, and then you put sorry, not empty. It's, I want everything, so that's why I put a column. So I want all the rows in the data set to be plotted here. And then you say, after the comma, you say, okay, I want that particular variable, which is year. So in this case, year is on the x-axis, and then all the row numbers, they are being shown on the x-axis. And same thing for population. In this case, I want all the rows for the population variable to be plotted on the on the y-axis. That's why you put the population, in the second output, the input. Okay, now the second line, PLT.title. The title function allows you to specify the title of the chart. So here we say we want Afghanistan because that's the only country we are interested in this case. Okay, next, X label, as the name suggests, it defines the label for the X-axis. And then finally, the Y label, allows you to define the Y label here, population. So this is how you can actually make a lie chart. Now, let's go back to the top. So again, I put the Python code and R code side by side, and you can see for some of them they are similar. For example, how you filter the data. You don't put single equal sign. You want to have double equal sign for both. And then to see the data content, you can just type the data set name for both, same thing. And then when you want to draw plus in Python, you need this package, right? But in R, basically most commonly we use ggplot2. So this is sort of like a review session, and then here when you want to do a plot, you see in ggplot you can also define the title and also the X and Y labels. So basically you can make similar plots with two different programs. Okay, so that's how you can actually make the lie chart. Okay, so the next exercise I'm not going to walk you through, but I think one thing I wanted you to pay attention is, okay, so if you go to the last page of the plot, you see at the very end of the code, you see PLT .show and parentheses. one thing I want to let you know is that if you look at the first exercise, the previous exercise, at the end I did not include plot.show. But basically in all Python tutorials you can search, you can find online, they always tells you that at the end, if you want to show the plot, you have to have the plot.show parentheses. If you don't have this part, then you won't be able to get the plot. But I just want to let you know that in Jupyter Notebook, especially through Anaconda, you actually don't need to have this comment. In other programs, you do have to have this in order to show the plots. So that's the comment that requests the plot in Python. But again, in Jupyter Notebook, you don't need this part. But here, I just want I intentionally include this just to
I tried to remove this, and still they provide it. Right.
Yes. So that's why I say you don't need this. Yeah. But I just want to let you know, normally when you are searching, Python tutorial online, then they tell you have to include this. But that's not necessary, for Jupyter Notebook. Yes.
Like if you want to know more specification of the functions, is there any function like help in Python?
Yes.
Like stay
Yes.
or-
Yes. I think it's very similar to R. I can't remember exactly how to do it, but you can search online. Yeah, there's also a help function.
I searched. It told me that it's help bracket, but it doesn't work. I don't know why, but
Yeah, I think. The reason I don't even remember how to. I remember I saw it before, but I don't even care about that. Is because normally I just Google. Because it's faster. Yeah, I don't even use the request function inside R because it's not really that convenient. Searching internet is the best way to find the solutions. Okay, so because we are pretty much running out of time, so I will skip the histogram and the scatter plot because as I said I